Bangalore province. So after the retreats, I told to Brother George, I would like to go to northeastern states. I've never visited the ecology and environment in that area, and also it is a very rich, it is known as the biodiversity hotspot. There are two hotspots. One is the Western Ghats, where I come from, Kerala, northern Karnataka, and so on. That is the one hotspot. The another one is Indo-Burma, this Myanmar, this sector, northeastern states, known as the hotspot biodiversity. There are only 25 hotspots around the world. So two of them, India has it. We have a very good record on conservation, and environment care. We have got 500 sanctuaries, 125 national parks. I think India has been the role model to the whole world. Artha Shastra, what a great book. Not only on politics. It is a spiritual reading, chapter 7 of Artha Shastra. It is like Laudato Si, written by Kautilya in 500 BCE. Ashoka, you know very well. All those 14 rock edicts and 7 pillar edicts, they talk about the welfare, Sarvodaya, the welfare of all. Today we call it common good. That is the word St. Thomas Aquinas. He coined that, and church very often uses it. Common good. So immediately Brother Varghese called me. Immediately I told George, next year, probably if there is a chance, I will go and preach the retreat for the brothers there. Then the following day phone call comes from Brother Varghese. Would you like to come and preach a retreat for us? I was shocked. I was dumbfounded, really. So soon the invitation came, and I took up on that. I agreed. Yes, I am coming. So that's how I came here. And already I'm here 4-5 days, and a lot of things. It's a revelation to me. You know what? The book of Revelation doesn't end. We have to write the next chapter, 26. 25, we finish it off. Don't think that. So the revelation is going on. Even Serabunji, it's a revelation. God reveals through nature. Actually, in the introduction, brother was talking about Rabindranath Tagore. All this mysticism, that's nice. We are going to enter into the mysticism realm these 6 days. When I completed 25 years of my priesthood, that was in 2007, I wanted to do some other kind of ministry, not as a parish priest. 25 years I examined, what did I do? I did only say Mass, and then only about human welfare, nothing else. Human welfare, human salvation, human redemption, human progress, human welfare. Nothing else. Only human. We call it anthropocentric. That is the word. Excessive anthropocentrism is really destroying our society. That's what Pope Francis writes in Laudato Si. Excessive anthropocentrism. We are focusing only on human welfare, and we don't care about the abiotic and other biotic factors. That is, the non-living factors and the other living factors. We don't bring them into our attention. Church, 2000 years. Then I examined the text. What would Jesus do if today he is the parish priest? What would Mary would do if she is a leader or a parish council member or a secretary of the parish council in the parish? What they would do? Then I examined the text, John chapter 3, 16. God so loved the world. Mark the word, world. He didn't say God so loved humans that God sent his only son. No. Also for humans. World includes everything, the abiotic, the non-living factors, and the living factors, including humans. See there? It is called integral. That is what Pope Francis, every page of Laudato Si, he uses a word to describe the unity that we did not experience. Only human anthropocentric. We never included other creatures inside our mission. So he calls integral ecology. That is the world. In Greek we call cosmos. Cosmos includes everything. So God so loved the world. Not only he came to save humans, he came to save soil, water, air, animals. In fact, snakes. Be prudent like snake. He has exalted to the sainthood almost. Who is the patron saint for prudence today? Jesus himself canonized snake. He is the patron saint for prudence. Who is the patron saint for innocence? It is not human. Dove. He goes to the Palainelam, in Tamil we call it. That is the desert ecosystem. The other ecosystems are rich. They have resources. But only Palainelam, that is the desert ecosystem, is impoverished. So he goes there. As we sang a beautiful song in the beginning, the Spirit, listen. The Spirit led Jesus to the desert ecosystem because it is impoverished. There he stayed so many years. It is not 40 days. From 12 to 30. 18 years he was preaching to creation, to the soil, the water, everything. The abiotic and biotic. Only 3 years he came and preached to humans. 33 years, only 3 here, humans. Other, I would say 30 years. Precisely 18 years. We don't know where he was, but he was preaching to the creation. That's why he says in Mark chapter 16, 15, go and preach the good news to the whole of creation. Not humans. Again, you watch the word. No humans. Creation, in which humans are included. They become integral part. So that is what I wanted to do. I went to my bishop and told, 25 years, I think, I served only humans and also only Catholics. Humans also fragmented. I never served the whole of humanity. Only Catholics. So now, what do you want to do, Rayappa? He asked me. I want to be the parish priest of the earth. Then he looked at me. Parish priest of the earth? What are you talking about? Have you gone mad? No, 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 no. Really, I want to be a parish priest of the earth, cosmos, the world. Because soil requires a parish priest. Today, especially. It is suppressed, depressed. It is sidelined. Water needs a parish priest. Animals need a parish priest. You celebrate Mass with them, for them, pray for them, preach to them. They need us. Then I argued with the bishop so many times, and then at last he got the point. And he told, okay, what do you want to do? I'm going to take my laptop and my projector. I go all the schools of the diocese first, Vellore diocese. Then I went most of the schools and I taught children about ecology and environment, about global warming and climate change. And at last, slowly, I went to convents. Sisters also like it. But at that time, 2007 to 2015, some bishops will look at me like heretic, no? When you go there, ecology, environment, they see you as heretic. They say, what is he talking about? Heaven, hell, purgatory. This is what the main things is all about the church. Then 2015, Pope Francis came, wrote an encyclical on environment. Yes, environment. It became a mainstream teaching. When you read that encyclical, you don't find hell, heaven, purgatory. You find he has replaced with 3 words: soil, water, air. At least 500 times you get the word ecosystem. That is the heaven. Carbon, greenhouse effect and greenhouse gases, maybe hell, drought, famine. All those systems can be like a purgatory. So, Pope Francis simply telling, come on, enough talking about metaphysics. Come to the reality. Come to the reality. You are talking about heaven and hell, which will come after our death, but you are ignoring everything what is going on in front of us, in front and back, right and left. Mahatma Gandhi has a beautiful word for it. It is Swadeshi. Mahatma Gandhi calls it Swadeshi, means neighborliness. Not neighbor, neighborliness, which means in front of me, immediate neighbor he calls. Back of me, right, left, up and down. So here, he need not be human only. Human can be on the left-hand side, human. He needs help, your immediate neighbor. Okay, help him. This side may be dog, you help him. At the back, probably they are dried plant. Pour water, nurture it. Underneath, it may be soil, completely poisoned by fertilizers, pesticide and fungicide. Take care of it. That is your neighborliness. Above, atmosphere, greenhouse gases. Come on, clean it up. This is the Swadeshi principle. Of course, it was misinterpreted, and today nobody wants to hear Swadeshi principle. So that is what Pope Francis is writing again and again. I will tell you, as we go into the retreat deeper, I will show you those 3 words what Mahatma Gandhi prescribed to Indian economy. That is the Swadeshi, Swaraj, Sarvodaya. These 3 principles. Again and again, Pope is writing in Laudato Si. Laudato Si. So the last point I want to introduce is our theme of the retreat, relationships. That is our theme of the retreat. 6 days we are talking about only relationships. Pope Francis again and again calls to our attention. He tells there are only 3 relationships. Relationship with God, relationship with the neighbor, the relationship with the whole of creation. Actually, we know the vertical relationship with God, we know the cross, no? That is a vertical relationship with God. This is the horizontal. This is our relationship with the neighbor. We stopped there. Actually, still there are only 2 commandments. The neighbor, we have understood only human neighbor. Mahatma Gandhi, Swadeshi, I explained to you. Also creation is included. Love of God and love of neighbor means now we understand our human consciousness is expanding to embrace the abiotic and the biotic. That's a good news. So we are becoming really better, good. That is the good news. That is the good news. So that is what Pope Francis is writing. Our relationship with God should be all the time in working condition. Our relationship with the human also all the time working condition. Creation also all the time working condition. In one area, if you snap out the relationship, if you cut off the link between God, the other 2 areas, you are not going to excel there. Failure. Your human relationship is also disaster. Also, creation relationship also disaster. Tamil Nadu Electricity Board, 3 phases. You know that, no? India, everywhere, now also in Guwahati. But in Tamil Nadu, it's supposed to be one line when it goes off, the other are supposed to work. But seldom they work. When one goes, the other 2 also go off. So for our retreat, that is the best example. Tamil Nadu government has given a fantastic example for all of us. Before Pope wrote encyclical, Tamil Nadu government gave us that example, the integral ecology. So if you snap out with God, you are going to face with failure in human and creation. If your relationship is not good with the creation, the other 2 areas, they snap out. If you don't treat your brother nicely, if your relationship is no good, naturally with God you are not good, also with creation is not good. Pope Francis writes in paragraph number 240 beautifully. This quote we should memorize. I will give you, all the brothers should memorize. Human person grows more, matures more, has sanctified more to the extent that he or she enters into relationship with God, with neighbor, and with the creation. See, we become more perfect. As Bible says, no, be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. Pope Francis is telling, when you go deeper into these 3 relationships, that is the route to perfection. So in this week, we are going to also discuss about 3 principles Pope thinks that these 3 are going to save us from the catastrophe. All right? From the climate change catastrophe. What are they? The 6th chapter of Laudato Si, ecological education, ecological spirituality, ecological lifestyle. These are the 3 main things which are going to save our planet. Not the technology, not the economy, not the politics. Only these 3, ecological education, ecological spirituality, and ecological lifestyle. And the brother was really talking about the last point. Nicely he taught about that. About opening ourselves, our hearts and minds to listen to the Spirit, to God, that 1,000 bells, the island of 1,000 bells. That's a nice thing. During retreat, if you are silent, you can hear them. Pope Benedict XVI writes, one more voice that we don't want to hear anytime. Not only the Spirit of God we hear, he says, earth speaks to us. We need to listen if we want to survive into the future. Imagine Pope Benedict, he writes like Buddha or Mahavira. A Western Pope would never write like this. They never write, earth speaks to us. We need to listen. So I think the whole week you are going to listen what earth is telling us. It is soil is speaking, water is speaking, air is speaking, all life forms are speaking. So I think we are going to open our hearts to them and let us wake up. Let us be awakened. And I appreciate the Montfortian community for organizing that webinar, national webinar. It was so beautiful. You have done very well. This year, you are talking about those three things: ecological education, ecological spirituality, ecological lifestyle. I think this retreat is also in continuation of that effort. And also the Bangalore province, I completed the whole thing. Only one thing is lacking, your seminarians, the minor seminarians in the novitiate. I am preaching a retreat for them in the month of May. So that province is completely covered. So I appreciate, Brother Varkis, yours and your community brothers, you are into that. I think Pope Francis will be very proud. Not only that, it is God will be really proud. So when we take God's creation as a gift, we should announce the good news of adaptation. That is what I would like to tell you. Announcing the good news of salvation is not different from the announcing the good news of adaptation. That is what today we lack. Because the basic, what is life, when you ask, the shortest definition of life is defined by consumption, reproduction, adaptation. Only three. That is why God created all of us. To consume, eat, all life eats. To reproduce, have babies. But only Catholic priests and brothers, we don't have babies. But we have different kinds of babies, writing books, etc., etc., a lot of creating kids, other kids. That's good. That's also parenting. It belongs to parenting realm. So we are doing reproduction also. The last one is adaptation, 0. That is the area where we have 0. So the basic question you ask during this retreat, what is the definition of life? Simply say, life is defined by consumption, reproduction, adaptation. Whatever we are doing this week, it's about adaptation. Thank you, brothers. Wish you all the best. Every day morning, I'll be giving you the meditation points here. I'm going to give you illustrations because you are teachers. That illustrations you can take to the school and you can educate your children in the schools. So every day there will be a illustration. I'll call you 1 or 2 brothers here and I'm going to illustrate mostly ecosystem. That is the focus because that is the thing what Pope wants us to learn about. Ecosystem. All right. Okay, thank you, brothers. Any questions? You have the timetable?
You want the LCD, then we have to go on.
Huh?
LCD projector is